What's going on, everybody? What is up? Stephanie, what's going on? FVW, what's going on? Hello, hello. A Ordnance, good afternoon. To you, Stephen, hello from Baton Rouge. Jared, do they still make the 6x6? No, they don't. That was a very limited edition car. They don't make that anymore, no. I'm off for summer, so not a whole lot for the next few weeks. Nice. Little downtime. Carlos, have you noticed a drop-off since Jared left, or have the views been about the same? No drop-off related to Jared. Will, how's it going? Good to see you. Michael, good to see you. OHIO. Plan on getting a C300 2022. Is it worth it to get a 2023 instead? If it's a significant savings, I'd just go with the 22. Right, that's the way that would be my best recommendation. Are you worried about your hair thinning up front? No, not really. Should I be? Do you think Porsche Macans are glorified Volkswagens and not reliable? No, I wouldn't say they're glorified Volkswagens. That's not how I would describe them. Not how I would describe them. But they're Porsches, right? I mean, they might not be a classic Porsche, but they're still a Porsche at the end of the day. Robert, can you special order Magno Green Hell on new Mercedes? If so, which models and how much? You can get it on certain models. The GT and the S-Class, you'll be able to order it now. But it's probably going to be a $10,000 paint on the cars that it's not already ordered or available on. I have a GLB. Is a GLC upgrade worth it? Yeah, the GLC is a big upgrade from the GLB, absolutely. Jason, we do sell our G63s and MSRPs, but at MSRP, but we sell them to repeat clients, so we don't sell them to the general public because we just don't have nearly enough allocations to do that, as much as I would love to. Sorry. VW or Audi boys? VW, Audi if you're going to go with one of those two. All right, so Brian, 2MB household wife's GLK 250 has, wow, a 250 diesel, very nice. 195,000 miles on the clock. Who says Mercedes isn't reliable? Boom, Brian, I love to hear that, right? Matt F, how bad will depreciation be on an AMG GT63? You know, six-figure sports cars like that are definitely going to take an initial hit for sure, but they slow down after that. Matt, appreciate the content removing the mystery from leasing and car buying. Matt, I appreciate you saying that. Omar, then we take a big depreciation hit on the G550 to get a G63. Not really. Not really. Look, if you're looking at it that way, then just go buy a G63 for market value from another dealership, right? I mean, we're offering a relationship, right? We want a relationship with our clients long term. If you're just trying to get a G63 and that's it, then just don't bother, right? I mean, we're not going to be able to help you. But driving you could also get a pre-owned G63. I mean, there's a lot of ways to kind of become a client of the store and to shortcut the list, right? I mean, and again, you don't have to do it, right? There are plenty of available G63s out there from dealers that will charge you over MSRP or all kinds of add-ons, and you could go that route if you prefer. So, Peter, can I sell my Bugatti Chiron? Sure, we'll put a number on it. Trixie, how are you handling this? How am I handling what, Trixie? Austin, currently have a 2018 GLE 354 Matic, want a new one. 255 horsepower on the new 350 seems too low. Thoughts? Well, the new ones are turbocharged 4-cylinders, remember, so I wouldn't get too fixated on the horsepower because they're going to be very torquey, and torque is what you feel when you accelerate. horsepower you don't really use unless you're in high-speed passing situations, right? So on the highway, you might have a little bit less power than you're used to in your 2018, but around town, you should have more power, if not the same, at least. So, Matt, will the AMG GT55 be the better choice? I think the GT55 is the better choice, just from a value perspective. Yes. I really do. What's up, Ange?
Hey. You on live?
I am.
Fun.
Oh, you got me excited for a second. I thought you were going to board a deal.
No, not yet.
Uni, I'm chatting with Angela. Angela, does that name ring a bell? You talking to a Uni? So the amazing deal expired on the EQE last night. So we still have great deals on the EQs. They're just, the incentive is a bit lower. Are you talking to a Uni right now?
Uni? I don't think so. Maybe.
Uni just said that they're working with you on something. Maybe. Uni, what deal, what kind of car are you looking at with Angela?
Hi.
Do G550s have markups? No.
UNI?
How does one become as well put together as thou? Well, using words like thou is a good start.
Oh, yes, Uni. Y-U-N-I.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I was saying Yeni.
Oh, that might be right.
Yeah.
I might be,
That's okay.
I might be butchering it.
Yeah, we're looking at EQs. Probably sedan or, yeah, probably.
Excellent.
Preferably SUV, but we'll figure it out.
Okay.
Cool. Cool.
What's the catch on an LLC lease? I'm not sure what you mean by that. What do you mean by what's the catch? Kingslayer, I have iffy credit and upside down BMW X3. Is there a way to get a 2-car lease? Just curious of one cosigner. If you have iffy credit and you're trying to get a second car, it might be challenging unless you have a very strong cosigner. The G550 does not have a V8 anymore. John, what's up, brother? Just come on in, buddy. You don't have to stand there.
You know, let you finish up.
No, there's no finishing. It's live.
Well, your sentence at least.
What's up?
Just need to produce a leasing quote for Chris Nolan. Has USAA and his company he works for is on the PEP list. This trumps USAA, correct?
They're the same thing.
Oh, same
Yep.
value. Oh.
Just different ways to get the same incentive.
Same value.
Yep.
I already produced the deal. He wanted to do financing with 30K down. I produced that. I just wanted to make sure there's no extra incentives that I'm missing on that. That quote should be good to go, right?
No, probably not, because we have a new incentive today, and you also need the USAA added to that.
Gotcha.
So let's get that added in.
Yeah, first he wants to see financing, 30K down.
All right, that's now saved, and then a lease. We're gonna have to do this one by hand. All right. First day of the month, program's never loaded in the system.
Lovely.
You might have what? Might have a deal?
Can we work numbers on Julie?
You know, as soon as I go live, you all want to come in here and work numbers. What's that about?
Sorry. It's more content. It's better content, actually.
It's live content.
Yeah.
Except that everybody that's asking me questions, I have to just,
Yeah.
I can't pay attention to them.
We're sorry, world.
All right, so now we're working up a, God, why does this do this? .0033. Stop erasing that. Okay, how many miles a year does he need, John?
Let's just do 12, I think he said, and 36 months. And I think he just wants to do first and fees for the leasing terms.
Leasing, okay, so we're gonna show him about 2,500 bucks.
Sounds
25, 35, 45.
Good call.
You don't sit very long, do you?
Too antsy.
I can tell.
Yeah. I like sitting.
All
I
right.
like to move around.
Good. Thank you for your help.
Hello.
All right.
Bye-bye. Bye. Have a good night. You too.
No, Nicholas, the G550 does not have a V8. and it will not be getting it back. I mean, it could, but I doubt it. I'm live streaming. So don't say anything crazy, Terry, okay?
Okay. And then they changed it for me.
Yeah.
I see you don't have shipping in these quotes. Is he coming here?
Oh, Jonathan.
Yep, I'll
Thank
take
you,
the blame on
okay.
that one. I didn't have delivery. Oh, that one was so easy too.
All right, that's okay. We'll add it for you. Shipping.
See the zip code?
Nope. Can see it. New Jersey. All right, you're all set.
Thank you, boss.
You look like a doll come to life. Oh, thank you, Nimby. Very nice of you to say. I'm sure you meant it as an insult. Okay,
Yeah,
Angela, what are we doing?
Can we update this deal for Meg Bell? I worked it yesterday, and so now I'm gonna put it back together today. I kind of had Matt look at it, but he likes to write stuff down and doesn't give me sheets, so he just said $9.45, $9.50 a month. So
Yeah, no.
can I just have a sheet, please?
That's when you're not in the flow of it all day, every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we looking at term-wise here?
I was gonna show 36 to 48, and then 35 to like 5 to 6. Yeah, 35 to 6 grand down. We're trying to get as close to
Is this on our?
900 as possible.
Okay, is this on our demo?
Mm-hmm. Well, loader, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
No, it's
How many miles? 12.
Yes, please. And if you need the exact mileage on the Julie, I do have it listed as a car phone.
No, because I'm doing it in Roadster, so
Okay.
I don't need to plug that in. We're trying to get to what? I'm sorry?
I'm trying to get as close to 900 as possible.
With how much it's signing?
She can do 5 grand comfortably. She might be able to stretch it a little bit, but I was gonna show her 35 to like 6.
Yeah, I mean, we're 48 months, we're at like 950 with 5K.
Okay.
So this is a
If she
pretty
does-
well-equipped car.
Okay. And if she does 5,500 down, she'd be at 940.
Yeah, about, because 6 grand is 927.
Okay.
Any fleet?
No.
Okay. This is a well-discounted car.
I figured.
All right.
She said we're very close.
Yeah, and now that we have the incentive on GLEs, right, that
Yeah.
helps. Okay.
Alright, cool.
All right.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right. No, Brian, fleet equals you work, have USAA or AAA membership or Sam's Club, or you work for a company that has a fleet partnership with Mercedes-Benz. Do you ship to California? Yes, Nicholas, we do a lot of California business, absolutely. Terry, are you ever invited to the F1 races with Mercedes team to hang out? No, not specifically. I mean, Mercedes does an F1 experience for VIPs that you can nominate people to go to, but not for us specifically. Russell, how reliable is the inline 6 V6 twin turbo compared to the twin turbo V8 and the S? I mean, 6 cylinders are inherently more reliable than V8s because they're less complicated. Inline 6s are especially inherently reliable. So I would say, I only have good things to say about those. I've seen some content with the meta glasses, and it's a good view for us. Nice, Terry. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Glad you're enjoying it. Dude, I like your style. Potato, potato, potato. I like your name. Cool name. Very cool. Digging it. Let's see. Marcus, are the leases on the EQS? Yeah, we still have EQS leases. We still got good programs on the EQSs. They're just not quite the same as we had yesterday. Han Solo, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for everyone hanging out. Please make sure, if you haven't hit the like button, I'd love if you hit the like button. That's very helpful. And also, if you're not following already, would love and appreciate a follow. So thank you for everybody that is a follower and hitting the like buttons and the thumbs up buttons and the subscribe buttons and all of the above. I love it. Nick caught my second live. Hello from Biloxi, Mississippi. Nick, thank you for coming in all the way from Mississippi. I appreciate that. Michael, what's a good retail price for a 2017 E550 Coupe 85,000 miles? Man, Michael, I usually can rip something off, but I'm not sure if I'm that good. That sounds to me like it's probably a $15,000 car, somewhere in that neighborhood. Ray, look forward to all the info you give when you go live. Ray, I appreciate that. Nicholas, what is a great lease on an S500? S500s right now aren't really incentivized, so I wouldn't, if you're looking for like a really well incentivized lease, I'm not sure that you're going to find it looking at an S500. Stephen Gray, does the dealership have a luxury box at the Browns Stadium? No, we don't, but that would be cool. Tucker in NYC, love your content. Keep it up. Thank you, Tucker. Appreciate that. Tell Ange, have my deal ready. I'm on the way. Okay. I'm not sure who you are, so I don't know who to tell her that is on the way, but Brian, my dealership goes to Drive Centric next week. Okay. Very nice. Is it worth leasing if I only drive 5,000 miles a year? Yeah, I think it's always worth leasing, especially if you're getting a luxury car, just because you protect yourself from downside risk, right? You know, it's never fun to buy a car that ends up depreciating more than you expect it to. So, deals for G550, Nicholas. Deals for G550s are just generally available if you can get one available. I mean, we really have not had an in-stock G550 in a long, long time. Lee, what credit range to lease? Leasing is, this is always, I get this question all the time. I would say that you want to be above a 600, of course, right? But it really is mostly about your credit history. So I think people tend to get very fixated on their credit score, but you need to be focusing on what your history of credit usage is. And the most important thing for you to be focusing on is making all of your payments on time. So all of your installment loans, all of your credit cards, anything that has a payment on a monthly basis, you got to make it every month on time. Even if you can only make the minimum payment, make sure you're making that payment, because when you start missing payments or becoming late on payments, that is when leasing companies and banks want to not lend money, or they will lend it at very, very high interest rates, because if you're demonstrating that you are slow to repay loans or are not repaying loans, then they're not going to want to give you more money. So credit scores can be impacted by a variety of different things. Some are more hurtful than others, right? So if you have a credit card that's maxed out, that can drop your score pretty horrifically. But if you are making all of your installment loans and all your monthly payments on time, then that will offset maybe a maxed out credit card for a month or two. So if your credit score is low because you're missing payments entirely, or you're slow paying loans all the time, then yeah, that's going to be a real problem. So, I would say if you're above a 600, then the history of your credit is hopefully good enough to get you considered for a lease, but make sure you're making all your payments on time every month. That's hugely, hugely important. Ryan, how did the Ineos sell when you guys had it? My GM just took a gamble on one, hoping it pulls some hot leads. We ended up selling it. They're very cool. They're interesting for sure. They drive very trucky, but they are pretty cool. I don't remember how quickly we sold it, but it wasn't a huge amount of time, I can tell you that. What car is best to soak up $8,000 in negative equity? Brandon, anything that can be discounted heavily is going to be your best bet. So you want something that's well incentivized, and I would really encourage that you lease, because the worst thing that you can do when you have $8,000 in negative equity, now this is assuming that you don't have a big down payment, which if you're asking this question, then you might not. Then you want something that can be deeply discounted, and you want to get into a lease, because what we're doing with leasing is we're shortening that exit strategy. Okay, what ends up happening is when people have negative equity and they want to buy another car, then they will take a really long loan, maybe 72 or 84 months, and they are taking the problem that you have today, and you're like instantly making it twice as bad, okay, which is not what you want to do. So I'll give my little spiel again, like I always tend to. When you look at a 3-year lease and a 5 to 6 year finance, payments are almost always the same when you're considering the same vehicle. We're talking about new cars here, right? So payments almost always come out to be the same. And a lot of consumers are payment focused, so what they do is they take the longer term on a purchase, and then they don't keep the car long enough, they don't pay it down nearly enough, and then they end up in an even worse negative equity position. So if you're looking at a luxury car and you have negative equity now, you need to lease. So a demo would be a good thing to look at, and EVs, of course, are the absolute best option to undo a negative equity situation and get back to square one in a couple of years, right, where you can start fresh. Happy Canada Day. That's right, it's today Happy Canada Day. Okay. Well, we have Canadian ownership, so Happy Canada Day to the Raffies and to all of the Raffi organization. Osito, I'm in the market for a new car, but interest rates are high, and I got an 812 credit score and still not enough. Well, you might be shopping with the wrong dealers. I mean, rates have definitely come down, but if they're quoting you very high rates, then they might be trying to take advantage. Jimmy, hi, what do C43 AMGs typically lease for? Those are going to be in the $900 to $1,200 range, just depending on equipment and leasing scenarios. I'm from Australia, love your vids. We don't lease. What's the ratio of own versus lease in the US? Thanks for watching all the way from Australia. I love that. I would say that it really depends on the brand. So in luxury brands, you have at least a 50-50 split, if not higher, during normal times, right, pre-COVID. Mercedes was 60% plus leasing penetration. Our store was probably as high as 70%. But brands like Toyota, Honda, maybe some of the domestic brands are going to be a lot lower than that. There's a lot less leasing with those brands, a lot more purchasing, so it might be only 30-40% lease penetration. Titanium, hello, is it possible to get a monthly payment for under 1% of MSRP on a GLE with current incentives? No, not likely, Titanium. Tony, watching from Florida, thanks for watching, Tony. What are the lowest cost lease deals in any MB product? Thank you. So best lease deals are going to be EQBs, GLBs, GLAs, C-classes. Those are our most incentivized vehicles. If you have a lot of negative equity in a vehicle, what's the best way out of it? We were just discussing that. Lease a demo or an EQ or an EV, something that can be deeply discounted. That's your best way to get out of negative equity with a reasonable payment in the shortest amount of time. What else do we got? VW or Mazda? I like what Mazda's doing right now. I think Mazda's got a really hot product, and they're doing really well. I like what Mazda's doing. Do you have any kind of trucks, heavy-duty vehicles, etc.? We have, Sprinter vans. We have some heavy-duty Sprinter vans, but all of the big heavy-duty trucks Mercedes-Benz sells in Europe, but not here. What is the highest negative equity you have seen? Oh, I've seen a couple doozies. You must be new to my channel. Watch back. There's some epic videos. One of my favorites is we did a Jeep lease to somebody who found us on Facebook, and he rolled $56,000 in negative equity in a Wagoneer into an EQS sedan on a 50,000 mile per year lease. So that was a pretty epic one. But he had a couple of cars in a row that got traded in, and the negative equity got really out of control, and that is a fantastic way for him to get back to square one. And along the way, he loves the EQS now, so that's great that we found a solution for him. Bradley, yeah, okay, all right. I almost read that out loud. Do you offer sales of trade-ins that you don't send to Mannheim? Yeah, absolutely. We don't send anything to Mannheim. Do they still lease 2024 GTs in July? No, last month they did. No. The only cars that are still leasable that are 2024s are the EQs. Everything else has been discontinued. They are no longer considered new. Loved you in the Carbonaro effect. Okay. Peter, what's the lowest credit score you've seen approved? Upper fours. Brian, looking at a used 23 EQB and notice there's a lot of lemon law buybacks. Did these have software issues? Did they get sorted? Did your dealership see any? Interesting, Brian. I don't recall dealing with any 23 EQB lemon law buybacks, no. So I know 22 SLs didn't have a great start when they first came out. There were some buybacks on those, but I don't remember 23 EQBs being problematic like that. Do I have to pay double tax if I buy from you? I'm in Wisconsin. No. No, Bailey. We collect tax and remit it to the state that you live in, so you only pay tax for where the car is going to be registered. Is China Blue available for order at a cost on a C63? No, not currently. C63 is not currently part of that manufacturer program, but hopefully they're going to be expanding that in the near future. What Benzes from the early 2000s will be the next classic car? COKs are, I love the COKs from the early 2000s. That's one of my absolute favorite model lines of all time. So I can see those, and the styling I think is timeless. So I would say early 2000s COKs would be my pick. Danny, how do I schedule time to talk to you? No luck with your team. Danny, I'm really sorry to hear that. Have you been communicating with anybody? And if so, who have you? LJ Edwards, have a new 2024 EQ incentive been released for July? Yes, those, I made a video talking about those. We already knew what they were going to be, but we do have them, yeah. All of our Mercedes are gas, no diesels anymore. Thank you, VW. Russell, are there, let's see what else we got here. Here's a long one, okay. J.E. Hawkins, I think I'll always like Mercedes, but will probably never buy one again. Owned a 92 600 SEL for around 12 years. I showed it. 67,000 miles when I purchased used, was third owner. Had to sell 4 years ago due to hard times. Took almost a year to sell. Got $3,500 for it. It was a showstopper in great condition. Thought that it was a little sad that I got such low interest for an old classic that was black on black. I also had an 08 ML 350 that sold with 168,000 miles for $3,000. That ML was a base pain. Jane knew it was $52K. Thankfully, I bought it used as a good deal. I got my money's worth out of it, but I always thought that $50K for a vehicle that only had heated and power seats and sunroof and power liftgate was trifle severe. I was made as had power windows when it was so plain. I still keep up with what's going on with MB. Also, it was impossible to get a loaner from my dealership at the time. Customer service stunk. It's under new ownership now. I'm sorry that you had that experience with your local dealership. That's no good. How do you keep maintenance costs down on luxury autos? The best way to keep maintenance costs down is to do your yearly services. When those start getting skipped, that's when things can go wrong, and that's when they can get expensive. What tips do you have for leasing a Mercedes? Derek, the best tip I can give you is pick a good, reputable dealer that's going to take care of you, and they will help point the way. Right? They will point you to the direction that is best to make sure you get a great deal. Han Solo has a 97 S320 long wheelbase, 144K miles. It's a tank, and I still love it. That's awesome. I love that. Are there any great deals on leases for GLA or GLB that would help eliminate negative equity? Yes, Seth. GLAs and GLBs are well incentivized, so especially a demo GLA or GLB would be a great way to get out of some negative equity. Do I have to pay full sales tax on a lease? Stephen, it depends on where you live. Most states, no. There are a few states where, yes, you would pay full sales tax, but most states, no. You're only going to pay tax for the portion of the car that you are using. Only the portion of the car that you're using. So, thank you to everyone who's hanging out. Let's keep the like train going. If you everyone tap the like, the like button if you could. And if you're not following, I would love and appreciate a follow. But thank you everyone for hanging out. I appreciate it. Got a couple more minutes before I got to hop off. But thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. Any GLE incentives these days? Yes, we do have some GLE incentives for July for the first time. So if you'd like to reach out, we would be happy to discuss those with you one-on-one. What is typical target margins on a trade-in? That really just depends. I don't think, we use AccuTrade, so we don't really have a typical target margin. It just depends on the car. It depends on how much service work it needs. I mean, obviously a dealership, we'd like to make $2,000 at a minimum. We try to make between 2 and 4, somewhere in there. It just depends on the car. Can you find one E55? We could probably find one, but there are definitely not a ton of them out there. Will 26 G63s continue to be sold over MSRP? NW, I would bank on that. The G-Wagon got redesigned for model year 2019, and 6 model years later, the market has not changed. So that was pre-COVID, during COVID, after COVID. The G63 mania has not subsided, so it might one day. I'm not going to say that it won't. I certainly didn't think that it would last as long as it has, but here we are, coming up on 7 years later at this point, and G63s continue to be as problematic as they ever were. So I love them and I hate them all at the same time, because I just have a non-stop string of people that want them, and I just don't have nearly enough to make everybody happy. So I would fully expect that model year 2026 won't be any different. Have you heard of anyone having engine problems with 2020 to 23 GLCs? I just had my engine replaced. Tony, there's little scenarios here and there where things like that can happen. I certainly haven't heard about that as like a thing that's happening in mass quantities. I'm sorry that happened. I'm glad that you're able to get it replaced, but no, that's not a known issue that I'm aware of. What is a better value, a Sealy 53 AMG or an SL55? Sealy 53 AMG all day, Stephen. Not even a contest there. That's, I think, one of the best values in our entire brand right now. The Sealy 53 is a dynamite car. It's absolutely fantastic. It's beautiful. It's a great price point. Mercedes hit a complete home run. Don't get me wrong, I love the SL55, but that car's about twice as expensive. So it's not, automatically off the rip, it's not going to be the same value. Been watching your videos for a while now, our fish dog, and they're very helpful. I've had 2 MBs now. That's amazing. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate that. And have a good evening. Love the classic picture on the wall. Thank you. That's Slim Aarons is the photographer of that photo. How did you get your start as a salesman? I just reached out to some dealerships, expressed interest, and somebody took a chance on me. So luckily with the car business, there's always a dealership that's willing to give you a shot, right? If you've got a little bit of a personality and you can hold a conversation, then, and you raise your hand and express interest, and somebody will probably give you a chance. So, well, I thank you to everybody that has been hanging out. I'm going to hop off here because I do need to wrap up my day. But thank you for all the likes and all the follows. Anybody who's a new follower today, thank you. I appreciate it. Looking forward to getting to know you all more in future.